Hello, everyone. Main event Mike here, Oriodan here, Billy are here. Well, here once again to talk about this wacky world that is professional wrestling. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke, but just before we go into the topics and go into the details, Billy, how have you been since the last time we recorded?
Been good, man. Been, what was it, like before Elimination Chamber, I think? So, yeah,
It
been
was,
good.
yeah.
Elimination Chamber was, mm, it was okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How's yourself been?
I've been good. I've been good. I think it's just similar to you. I think when it comes to how I'm feeling about wrestling, I think I've been liking the things in WWE, some outside of WWE, and I think in general, I'm good. But I'm kind of 50-50 on this road to WrestleMania, which we will discuss later on in one of our points as well. So before we continue, what is actually cool, which I like to kind of say, is I believe yesterday WWE announced three new people that they've announced to the Performance Center. One of them was Rayne Leverkusen, who is very well known, especially in the British scene, as well as wrestling in other areas in terms of the UK as well. She's wrestled for Hustle. That's what I saw. Actually, I saw her in Shoreditch. So it's just. I think it's just really cool to see someone that was very homegrown in the UK just go out now and now is officially part of WWE, and it's just really really cool because I know she did her tryouts. I saw the clips of it in the SummerSlam weekend when she was doing the tryouts, and I know they picked her as one of their best people there. So it's just really cool to see someone that you've seen from the indies just go to WWE, and that's just how it's going to be in terms of the progress of wrestling. So, congrats to Rayne Leverkusen. Hopefully, great things will come, especially when you go to WWE. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what she does. And what we can do now is just
Yes, you're the expert on her. I have not seen her wrestle as of yet, so yeah, I'll say I'll run his word for it.
yeah. So what we can do is just quickly go through some of the things. As you said, that we had an Elimination Chamber PLE that we previously had, and the show itself was it was a show. We could say it was a show. Of course, the two Elimination Chamber matches that we had, where we had Rhea Ripley win the Women's Elimination Chamber to advance and face Shade Cargill for the championship at WrestleMania. In a match which I thought was good, I did like the chemistry between Rhea and Tiffany Stratton towards the end. Good match. I thought certain wrestlers looked over, like Raquel Rodriguez. Kiana James had some moments, but I think the big story is, of course, that Rhea Ripley won. AJ Lee won the Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch in a fine match, and AJ Lee winning her first title since the Divas Championship all those years ago. CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight title in a good match against Finn Balor, which, let's be real, we just didn't think Finn was going to win anyway, but it was a good match nonetheless. And then the Men's Elimination Chamber, which I'm still to this day thinking, is this probably one of the weakest chambers I've seen due to the heavy involvement of wrestlers. Just Randy Orton winning, and I think the finish of that chamber was really good to great, but everything about it was
Yeah.
just odd. From the booking of Logan Paul getting literally Bronson Reed's push of pinning three guys, which didn't really make any sense. The lack of kind of like giving Javon and Trick a bit of the push, how long these entrances went, it was almost as long as the match itself. But yeah, just to kind of give your thoughts, Billy, how do you think the Elimination Chamber show was?
Yeah, I'm on the same fence as you. I think the women's Elimination Chamber match is actually my favourite match of the show.
Yeah,
We always, they always describe as someone's coming out party. This was Raquel
yeah,
Rodriguez, like really step up. Like this was her, like, oh, I'm ready for the main event scene when you need me to. And she plays sort of like that Diesel character, I think.
yeah,
So she's like how Diesel was to Shawn Michaels. That's how she is to Liv. So she had a good coming out party. I agree with you. Tiffany and Rhea had a good exchange at the end. The only problem I have with Tiffany not going after the women's title now is when she lost it. she lost it because of a disadvantage because of Jade Cargill's attack, and
Yeah,
now she's not getting no heat back on Jade. And I feel
yeah,
like it makes her character a bit weak.
yeah. I could see that. I think it's maybe they just don't want to go back to that feud. Um, they just don't want to
Yeah,
go back, and they just want to give Tiffany something new to do. Which I'm starting to have a feeling that I think they're gonna do something with the mid card belt to kind of have Tiffany be
yeah,
involved. So that's something that they could potentially do in terms of having her be involved as well. What
yeah.
I was actually gonna ask you what LA Knight in that chamber performance. My God, wow, I feel bad for him. I really do.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He just needs to stop doing that move from the top rope. He needs to stop. He needs to look at himself and be like, "Look, I can do it, but look at the pros and cons of when I don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I look silly." Even Randy was laughing.
Oh
You
yeah, I
can
saw that
like
clip.
it's bad when Randy starts laughing. But
Yeah.
yeah, the women's match was good, and then AJ Lee won the first title. That match was surprisingly good because I had no
Yeah, I like
excitement
the
going
match.
into it.
Same.
Like, I thought the build was really bad, but they had a
Yeah.
good match. Surprised AJ won actually, and now she's facing Bailey, which is a feel good match for both women
Yeah.
involved.
Hmm.
Is Punk better? Yeah, as same as you. We knew Punk was winning, but it was a good match. It was a good filler
Yeah.
match,
Hmm.
and to get Punk in Chicago, and then that chamber match when it finally started. I said in our group chat we have it is the worst chamber match until Seth Rollins showed up.
I think there was one of the biggest weaknesses of this show was how the crowd was. I was very surprised how
Yeah.
empty the crowd was, especially in Chicago, for the chamber, for the men's chamber especially. It just almost felt that there was no energy, almost like they were already burnt out from the entrances alone. Because, like I said, the entrances were very, very long. If you added Jey Uso to this chamber, the entrances was going to be longer than the actual match. That's how it would have been,
Yeah,
and
it's so true.
it's just like, yeah,
Is
there you go.
is the Chicago crowd only good when CM Punk's not in the company?
Uh, I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's just a thing of we've seen in the last PLEs and the last WWE shows where the crowds just feel very lack of energy. We saw this in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
We've seen this in a few shows, a few Monday Night Raws, a few SmackDowns, and we're now seeing this at the Elimination Chamber. And I'm afraid is this going to become more of a pattern, especially when we have the other shows, when you're going to have the big ones like WrestleMania, where as of now, they're kind of still in the same position in terms of trying to get people in for the seats, to get people in for the arena. But that's also just another addition. I just think that there's been a lack of energy for some of these shows, which has kind of
Yeah.
transitioned from PLE to PLE, which is a sad thing to say, especially for Chicago. Chicago has been the show that has been aligned with WWE. If you can go back to Money in the Bank 2011 and the atmosphere of that crowd
Yes.
alone makes you remember that show, makes you remember the CM Punk entrance the very last time when he had this Fire Burns play. You remember that atmosphere, them cheering him on, to John Cena coming out to ginormous boos, them literally being for the whole match as well. So it is a big like culture shock going over a decade, and this is how the crowd feels. It could also be a reflection on
Yeah.
how it could be also be a reflection on how the creative and how things have been going on as well. And I know it's easy to crap on the creative or criticize the creative, but in a week where we've seen Road Dogg literally leave by his own accord, where they've literally advertised and showcased they've literally showcased WWE Unreal as a show that shows you behind the scenes of what's going on, and you kind of see the creative at times not look the greatest. It's not hard to kind of criticize them. We'll get to Monday Night Raw and Seth Rollins' Mass Gang group later, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh.
any additions, Billy?
Yeah, I think it's time to scrap the Money in the Bank pay per view. Not Money in the Bank. Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I felt like
Mm.
get us back like to wanting it, having 6 men who have a feud, and the only way they can settle it is in the chamber rather than
Yeah,
this qualifying match for a title match.
yeah. I kind of agree, but I think we'll see if it is a money maker. I mean, they're still going to keep it because it's their version of the road to WrestleMania, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes in the next few years. So, unfortunately, the
Yeah,
Elimination Chamber wasn't a terrible PLE, but it wasn't the best, especially coming after last year's very strong version, where you could argue was one of the best PLEs of the year. But but
yeah,
just to quickly move on, straight after the show, when Randy Orton won, and we're thinking, oh, we're now in this position where Drew McIntyre is facing Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE title. Immediately after Elimination Chamber, which you could argue was the biggest angle of the show, the general manager, Nick Aldis, tells Drew McIntyre, because of you costing Cody for the 500th time when I could have done this time ago, you're going to defend that WWE
yeah.
title against Cody Rhodes on Friday Night SmackDown. And that's what we got. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship in a good match. It was a good match. And we saw Cody Rhodes win the championship back. And it is official. Cody Rhodes will be defending the title against Randy Orton. Poor Drew McIntyre. You kind of gone back to where you were last year, so just with a different wrestler who potentially could have the momentum.
Yep.
Just to ask you the question, Billy, what do you think about
Yep.
Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton as pretty much the confirmed night one main event? And are you interested / excited for this matchup?
I'm excited for the storyline they could tell. I'm not excited for the actual 1v1 match.
Mm.
I think Cody and Randy is going to be very similar to how Cody and John was last year in the ring.
Yeah,
They can't really do much of a wow. Like, they're very simple wrestlers, Cody and Randy. They're good, like elite wrestlers, but they're not a showcasey wrestler, if that makes sense. And we also see this match at was it King of the Ring?
yeah,
Like, literally under 12
Yeah.
months ago. So I don't think it'll be any difference that match. I'm excited for the storyline they could tell of them both needing the win, and both of them, or Randy finally like catching Cody out and finally pulling that trigger. Does it lead to a Cody heel turn? I think that's what many people are hoping for.
Yeah.
Does he do it at Mania? I don't know, but that's what I'm excited for most. What about you?
Poor Drew McIntyre. That's all I'll say. Poor Drew McIntyre. I think when it comes to the match was good. I thought Cody Orton, I think as a story, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of background that you can tell
I've lost
overall.
Oriodan
Don't know if
for
I'm
1
gone.
second. But yeah, I just feel like he said he clipped on the poor Drew McIntyre, and yes, Randy and Cody's the better story, but when you've had someone like Drew who's had 2 years of having like stellar feuds, keeping everyone interested, being handed shit and producing gold, surely like you start like rewarding the wrestlers. And I feel like WWE sometimes do not do that. They go to the money match all the time, and I feel like Punk said it WrestleMania 29. He said, I was the best wrestler that year. I was sorry, we got to ride him back. So I was just filling in.
Yeah, apologies that I just got kicked out immediately, but no worries. I think going back to what I said, I'm interested for the storyline of Cody and Randy Orton. I think it's a story that can be told well, especially from the histories of both Cody and Randy, from Cody coming up when Randy Orton was at the very top, to legacy, to now. And of course, they've been teasing it for years that we would potentially get this. And you've got the story of Randy Orton chasing number 15. You've got Cody Rhodes back at the top, despite what people feel about it. And I think I'm not mad about Cody being champion again. I'm more annoyed of how we got here. I feel like both ways you would have led to a bit of a mess to get here. I don't think Drew McIntyre needed to be involved to have a very lackluster title reign to be the consequence here. Because I don't think this Drew McIntyre title reign is going to help Drew McIntyre. It's another championship he's got, which is great, amazing. but he had his title reign in the pandemic era in front of no crowd. He had a 40-second one, which didn't really help him too. So that is kind of just the issue right now, where there is a lack of anything with Drew McIntyre's story, because it was just a lackluster title reign. It was kind of just like, here, we're going to give you this title reign, damn. And now that's just how it feels, and now he's back to square one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. When we lost you, I was saying how although Randy and Cody's the better like matchup money wise, it feels very 2013 where a wrestler that's been on a good streak for 2 years, aka we seem to have lots of riding again. But yeah, like Drew McIntyre and
I think I lost Billy
being
too.
in the CM Punk 2013 position of I've been the best wrestler for 2 years now, which Drew has been up there like with feuds.
Yeah, I think I lost
but
too.
These two money matchup overtake how much I deserve it. Same with Daniel Bryan in 2014 with Batista and Randy Orton, which was planned. And I feel like at some point you have to reward the hard work, not just a money match. But yeah, Cody and Randy will be good. One of my problems with the Elimination Chamber is how much wrestlers get into the cage now. I feel like there's no security. I feel like every single year someone's attacking someone inside the cage that's not meant to be there. And you have this cage put in place to keep the 6 men in, fair enough. What about to keep men out? Like the steel cage is meant to be. How many times have we seen people hop over into a steel cage? How many times have we seen Hell in a Cell door be ripped off and someone's in there? You have a cage match for a reason, to keep them men in to settle their feud. Don't start adding people to that, like Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre. All these people have in the last 3 years have intervened. AJ Styles intervened in the Elimination Chamber. Like all these people are just getting involved, and yeah.